Hello class, hello everyone, this is Miguel Angel, your teacher of English language at the high school. First of all, I would like to thank you for watching this video. By watching this video, you're going to learn some basic tips to give a class presentation. You know that in the last stage of your project, of your Erasmus Radio project, you will have to present your podcast with the rest of the group to the whole class, to your classmates. The contents of this video are as follows. Tip number 1 would be how to state the purpose. Tip number 2 would be how to signpost your oral presentation. Tip number 3 would be how to involve effectively the audience. Tip number 4 would be how to conclude the presentation. The first tip would be stating the purpose of your presentation. In order to state the purpose of your presentation, you have to ask yourself what you're going to talk about. That is, the objective of your presentation. In order to introduce this purpose, there are some expressions you can use, like for example, in our presentation today, we are going to talk about some of the most outstanding British festivals and traditions. Or for example, in our presentation, we'll be proposing 2 new techniques which we need to incorporate to improve our fluency in a foreign language. Some other examples are, this morning we'd like to have a look at, or this morning we'd like to focus on, or the subject or topic of this presentation is. If you really want to impact your audience, you can change the word order and begin your statement of purpose with what. Like for example, what I'd like to do this morning is to present, or what I'll be proposing in my presentation are the main features of. The second tip in order to work on an effective presentation is signposting a presentation. Your introduction should include some kind of signposting for the audience. That is, tell them what you will be talking about and in which order you will develop your points. Remember that signposting your presentation will help you to define the limits of your presentation and to make the audience focus on those aspects of the topic you want to talk about. Here you will find some useful expressions to signpost your presentation. For example, I'll be developing 3 main points today. First, I'll talk about. Second, lastly, my presentation will be in 2 main parts. In the first part, Firstly, I like to. Secondly, we can focus on, and I'll finish with. Tip number 3 in order to work on an effective oral presentation is involving the audience. You can involve the audience by using words like you, your, us, our. You can use examples or stories from life. You can ask your audience to do something, for example, ask them for a show of hands. And you can also ask the audience direct questions if you have like a small group of people, or even use rhetorical questions for larger audiences. Remember to use realia at all times, that is, photos, videos, animated images, in order to get your presentation more lively. Finally, conclude your presentation. That's tip number 4. A good presentation will contain some or all of the following stages: a summary or closing formalities. Some expressions that you can use in order to sum up your presentation are so to summarize, or so to sum up, so we've seen in this presentation today, or as I've explained. Some expressions for closing formalities are I'd be happy to answer any questions. If you have any questions, I'd be pleased to answer them. I would welcome any comments or any suggestions. Thank you for your attention. Now remember that concluding the presentation will help you to review or restate your points from the introduction. And that's all for now, class. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you found this video interesting. See you in class!